Hi guys, sorry. I was trying to hang up on somebody. It was actually my mom. My mom keeps calling, and then every time she calls me, she accidentally calls me twice, and now I've lost the hangout. Hold on, let me find you. So something's, I don't know, technology. Anyway, well, for her, it's an issue. So sorry about that. But thank you guys so much for being here. Vanessa, I just got your article and I replied to you. I skimmed it because I was in a hurry to get over to this chat, but I got the basis of it was that it comes back in 2018, correct? Which sucks. And I know there was some debate that perhaps it could come back at the end of 2017, but it looks like no, according to the article. I've had a couple people send me articles on Twitter in the last few minutes, and I haven't read them, but I've saved them, favorited them, so we'll get back to them. But I want to say hey to everyone in the room so far: Roa, Cherry, Vanessa, Eli, Luis, Firkin, and I think there's some more people in here. So if you haven't said hey, please say hey. But I know how it is. Like sometimes you just don't want to say hello. You just kind of want to be incognito. So that is totally fine. If I haven't told you guys before, when I watch YouTube videos, I like rarely comment unless I know the people, like Julie and Ashley and some people on here that I'm kind of friends with. But otherwise, I just kind of like to watch and not comment. But I like it. But you know, regardless. Lindsay, thank you for being here. Hi, Mark. Thank you for being here. Some of you were here with me last night to watch the live finale, which was fantastic. I loved it so very much. Vanessa, did that article say that Felix was a host? Is that confirmed? Which is really interesting. I wondered about that. But anyway, maybe you've caught my reaction, even if you weren't with us last night, and I appreciate that if you did watch it. But I've gotten a lot of interesting comments over the past 24 hours or less than 24 hours about my 2 videos that I did. By the way, I went ahead and filmed my thoughts on the season and on the finale. So if you haven't watched that, that's up on my channel. But anyway, I just love the show. It pretty much almost made me cry last night. I'm sorry. I didn't cry because it was like, I was on with you guys and I was like, I'm not going to cry because that's ridiculous. But I felt the way that they revealed William was absolutely beautiful. And it did make me feel like I wanted to cry, just because I wanted to cry for, you know, both William and Dolores, because she had so much hope that, you know, William was always going to be there for her and come back for her. And then I was sad for William because he's turned into this jaded person who no longer, you know, William was so hopeful and full of life and loved Dolores so much, and this older version of William is just the exact opposite, and it makes me sad that he has turned into that. So Firkin brings up a point that a lot of people were saying on my videos. So when I watched Ford being killed by Dolores, I did take it as he was kind of copying off of Arnold's way out. Arnold, we know, actually died, and I thought Ford actually died. Now, I'd always believed that the host being built in Ford's office or workspace was Elsie, because I think they killed the human version of Elsie. But a lot of people were asking me if perhaps Ford was building himself. So that host he was working on was actually himself, so that the host version was the one who was killed. Now, I absolutely love that theory 100%, which, you know, Anthony Hopkins is obviously the main star as far as star power of the show. So to lose him after 1 season is sad. I could also see the other end of that he's such a big star and he's quite a bit older. And, you know, he's, you know, I don't know how much work he wants to do these days. I'm not sure. But I could see him just wanting to do 1 season and maybe have flashbacks in the additional seasons. But if you guys agree with, and I know Firkin has this theory, maybe others of you have this theory, that he killed the host version of himself last night, I think that's fabulous. Yes, as Vanessa is saying, we did not see really much of that host that was being built. We couldn't even tell if it was male or female, so it could have been anybody. It could have been someone unimportant, although I don't think it is. But I absolutely love the idea that that is Ford, and that Ford is still going to be with us because human version Ford didn't die. So I think that's great. Another thing that's been discussed, and I think it's based off of the movie, and I guess there were some TV series in the 80s that were based off of the 70s movie, about there being other worlds in addition to the Western world that we saw in this season. I think that's definitely true, because we saw in the finale, it looks like I think Samurai World was what people have been telling me was either in the movie or in some of the TV series that were based off of the movie. So it looks like maybe that's what we're going to get next season. And maybe we'll get additional worlds every season. I don't know if the Western world is still going to be part of the show next year, or if everything changes, or how they're going to play that out. But that's going to be interesting to do. And I think it's good that they are doing that, just because we do need a new change of pace, like a new scene, new characters. It really opens it up to make it so it doesn't get old and boring out in the Wild West with that same storyline all the time. Yes, so it was also revealed that Dolores is Wyatt, and then it was revealed that Dolores has been guiding her own self because she'd reached a new level of consciousness. Rather, she thought someone else was talking to her the whole time, but it was her higher self, pretty much. So Maeve, of course, a lot of people have been asking about that, why she decided not to leave WestWorld, and I really think it was those last few minutes when she saw the woman on the train with her daughter, and she realized that she wanted that type of life, which, I mean, I guess maybe she could have had that life in the real world. I'm not really sure what the real world is like, because we don't really know what time period this is taking place in, whether it's in the future or if it's in what we consider present day. But I think she was also really scared. As tough as she acted, I think she was really afraid because she has no idea what it's like in the real world. We don't either. And she was like, at least I know I'm safe and I have a lot of power and control in Westworld. But when she comes back, I don't know what's going to happen to her. Like, I don't know what her place is going to be in that world, whether it's Samurai World or whatever. And I don't know if she's going to be happy. Yeah, like we were just talking about, as Vanessa saying, they're going to do different worlds for the show. And I think that's great, because Westworld in the West every single time with the same people playing the same roles is going to be really boring. But this allows us to have some of our favorite characters like Teddy and Dolores, I think, be different people. I don't know. I mean, are they going to be Western characters in the Samurai world? I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what they're going to do with it. I think it's good that everyone can't predict everything. I never saw anyone, at least on my videos, as I said before, I don't really reach out to other mediums to read theories, but I never saw anyone say that Ford was going to kill himself or kill a host version of himself. Maybe you guys predicted that, I don't know, but to me that was surprising, and that made me happy, because I don't want to watch a show where everybody knows what's going to happen, or everyone can predict, or I can predict. As much fun as I have when I get things right and I'm like, oh, I figured that out, that's so awesome, go me. It's the same time, it's like, I don't want to keep watching a show where I figure it out every year or every season. So I'm happy that there were things in there. I think all of us pretty much figured out the William thing. I was going back and forth between whether it would be William or Logan. So we did figure that out, and the dual timelines, you guys figured that out, and I know people on Reddit figured that out. So so as far as the host being let out, we saw that room where all of those like retired hosts had been. We saw at the end of the show they were all gone. I personally think he wanted to set the host free, whether he did this and he's human Ford is dead, or if he's orchestrating this from somewhere else. But yeah, I think he set everyone free. And the problem with that is a lot of the hosts who were in that like closet of sorts, whatever you call that room, were at a higher level. Like, remember Dolores's dad, Abernathy, he's definitely, I keep talking about him, but I definitely think he's coming back to play a major role in season 2. So remember, he was very angry and he wanted to get revenge on the humans. And we already have the two people, the tattooed girl, what is her name? It's a very strange, Armistice, and the guy that's kind of Maeve's boyfriend, hookup, whatever. They're out there killing humans. Dolores has the ability to kill humans. We have a lot of people with the ability to kill humans now, or hosts with the ability to kill humans. And that's going to be, I think it's going to be a totally different world next time around, because we can have some craziness, because now there's several of them out there who can kill humans, and Maeve can program them so she can get more people to kill humans. Okay, I'm going to read some of your comments now. So Lawrence Corner says, can't wait to see if they'll eventually incorporate a Game of Thrones world as a separate part of the park. That would be freaking interesting. I mean, I don't know if they want to do a, crossover like that, but hey, I've never see like I know you're making references to Game of Thrones, and I've kind of watched it with friends. Like it's been on in the background, and I've been there and I've watched it. So for some reason, I've seen key parts of like Game of Thrones. Just really weird. It was kind of like that with Walking Dead. I'd always kind of watched it, but not really until now. But I don't really plan on catching up on Game of Thrones because it's just too much. But so some of your references I don't get, but I know everyone loves it. Also, some questions that I brought up in my video that I filmed last night. Logan, what has happened to him? I don't know. They didn't explain that. Teddy, what is his relevance? Is he just a host? Or is there something more there? Okay, I'm going to read some more comments here. Hi, Ralph. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so Luis is the actor who plays Maeve's boyfriend, is a Brazilian actor named Rodrigo Santoro. What is his name in the show? I would appreciate that. And I know some people get so mad at me, like I do try to, excuse me, I try to keep up with everyone's names in all the shows that I cover. But when we have like lesser characters, I don't always know their names. And sometimes I do go to IMDb, and I'm sorry. So if I'm offending people by saying like I don't know his name, I am sorry, because I'm not trying to offend you. It's just like I do cover a lot of shows, and I try to know every single person's name, and sometimes I don't know them or they escape me or whatever. Apparently Rodrigo is from Lost and is the South American Tom Cruise. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, he's very good looking. I really like him as a person. Really? So Lawrence Corner says that George R.R. Martin actually said he'd like to see a Game of Thrones park in the world. I mean, I think that was cool. I think that would be cool. I mean, hey, they're both on HBO. They could definitely go there. Hector, thank you. Now, I do remember his name being Hector. I just couldn't remember it for now. Thank you. I appreciate it. Fergin's wondering if Logan is dead. I'm definitely wondering that. But what I'm also curious about is why, if they wanted to wrap up his storyline, why they didn't. Also wondering, who did William marry? Did he marry Logan's sister in the real world? Is his daughter of relevance? I don't know. Very strange, as Vanessa is bringing up, that Ashley Stubbs, aka Luke Hemsworth, who's kind of a top tier character. I mean, they have so many famous people in this show, but I think the fact that he's a Hemsworth gives him some sort of clout in this. But he was not in last night's episode, which I don't know. That was weird. He's kind of been circulating around for most of the season, and they've kind of, I think they kind of like to say, oh, we have a Hemsworth in the show. Not the two Hemsworths, but the other Hemsworths. And if you guys, I like said goodbye to you guys last night for the live reaction, and then there was more stuff happening, which I liked that. I thought that was really cool. You don't see that a lot with TV shows, but they had the ending music and everything, and then all of a sudden we got like a little cut scene with Armistice. Ralph says Armistice blowing on the back of Felix's neck in the elevator was hilarious. Yes, she is. I mean, okay, you don't want to mess with her. Like, I think she is more hardcore than Maeve. Like, if it were me and I were a human, like visiting Westworld, I would be terrified of. I would think she would be the most terrifying human. I mean, host. I would be so terrified. And now she can kill humans. So, I mean, Maeve is badass, but Armistice, I mean, she's just wow. I like Felix, and I like Maeve and Felix's relationship. I think it's really sweet. I really love it. I honestly think I want to ask you guys this. If you guys were working in Westworld, how do you think that you would act toward the host? I really feel like I would be kind of like a Felix, because I always root for the underdog. I would probably be trying to help the hosts as much as I could. Like, I don't want to encourage them to kill innocent humans, but we assume that Elsie is dead, Roa, but we're not sure. That hasn't been confirmed. So Tessa is saying, don't feel bad. You don't know their names except for the main ones. Yeah, it is hard to keep track. And I consider myself a huge fan of every show that I cover. But there are people who are, I would say, bigger fans than me, who literally know, like, if someone makes a guest appearance, they know them and they know their whole acting history, which is awesome, but I don't know it to that extent. So that's the people who kind of get mad at me. So I don't know. Lawrence Corner says, do you think Logan was made out to be crazy by William, and then his father passes him over to give the company to him, and Logan tells his sister everything that William did in the park? Now, as much as I disliked Logan, I think this episode and the last really kind of proved that Logan was not psycho. He was just kind of a jerk. And I think Ralph made this point last night. He seemed a lot more sane than William, because young William, when he was having those scenes with Logan, was acting really out of it. I mean, yes, those hosts look like humans because hello, they're played by human actors. But I guess if we were in that world, they would seem like humans. But he was at a crazy point where he was really into the game. Obviously, like he wanted to bring Dolores home, and it was all real to him at that time. So you can kind of see how William has changed over the years, and he was like, oh my, he probably thinks I'm so stupid. I actually believe this woman was real. I could move her home. This place was real. I get that. If you come to anywhere, I mean, if you go to Disney World all the time for 30 years, you would probably be like, I hate this. I don't know. I'm just saying, like anything, I think gets annoying after a while. If you know the story, if you know the drill, if you know all the rides, if you know all the attractions, it's like, why am I still here? But he keeps coming. Ralph says that Logan was only a jerk for the game, but when it mattered, he showed he cared about William. I believe that. I completely believe that. And in the end, Logan seemed like the person who was sensible and not, and William seemed mentally ill. Now, William in present day doesn't seem as crazy, but I do understand how this has changed him. What I think would be awesome is that if we could have a change of heart for Man in Black / William, if he could come back around and change again, if the world can make him change one more time. You live in Florida, you know the feeling. So what does that mean? Oh, Disney World. Okay, yes. Honestly, yes. I used to love Disney World and everything as a kid. And I've come a few times as an adult, and I just was like, I think it's a really amazing place with amazing attractions, but I don't get what I got as a kid. And I think that's a good way to explain the William phenomenon and the Man in Black thing, because I can go to the same place and I don't feel the way I did when I first went. And I felt like everything was amazing and wonderful and magical. And now it's just like, okay, this is a theme park, I mean, that's a weird analogy, but he's been going for like 35 years is what Ford was saying last night. So, and oh my God, he's seen the same storylines play out 400 times, and he's tried to talk to Dolores and she remembers things sometimes and then she doesn't really remember. She ignored him. We saw that in some of the flashbacks because she's only programmed to do so much. Firkin really enjoyed the fight scene between Dolores and William. Dolores hurting him was really fun to watch. Yeah, I enjoyed it, in a way. He deserved it as adult William. Young William wouldn't have deserved that, but he kind of deserved it. It was good to see that she is not like this damsel in distress. Like she can stand up for him, to him. Tessa's asking about what we were talking about a little bit earlier, but I know some people got here late, asking if I think that Ford, who was killed, was a host version or the real Ford. That's kind of been the big question to come out of the finale. I could see it both ways, and if it is a host version, that's what a great idea. And it would be awesome because it means we get more Anthony Hopkins. If not, I could also see Anthony Hopkins just wanting to do one season. I see it both ways. And I can also see Ford being like, this is the only way out for me. If I have to go out, I'm going to die, but I'm going to make everyone pay. And I'm going to set the host free like Arnold would have wanted, Vanessa's asking if I would choose WestWorld over How to Get Away with Murder as favorites. Well, no, just because I feel like those shows could not be more different. And I'm not really a person who does a lot of sci-fi shows. I do love Orphan Black, so that's kind of along those lines of this. But I think they're so different that no. I feel like How to Get Away with Murder has these moments where you're just like, your jaw is dropping to the ground. And you're like, oh my God. And, and this is not really that way. It's just more artful, I don't know. So that's hard. That's a hard comparison. I don't even know, like WestWorld could kind of be compared to Orphan Black, but not really. I don't know. Nothing else that I personally watch because I don't usually choose science fiction could I compare and be like, this one's better. So I don't know. I'm just really glad that you guys talked me into it because, again, it was not something I would have picked on my own. And I think it's brilliant. And I'm just happy that this is not a Game of Thrones for me because when I'm saying that, I mean, I didn't start on Game of Thrones at the beginning and now it's like too late. I don't want to go back. So I'm glad that this show is going to blow up. I mean, it's already big, but it's going to be huge. And I'm glad it's not like 5 years in the future. And I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I not start watching Westworld? So thank you so much. I don't even think that the twists compare really to How to Get Away with Murder. I don't know. I just feel like they're so different. It's hard for me to compare the two. But hold on just a second. I know I've missed some comments. I'm going to try to read some more here. Tessa says, like to think that all the shows you watch are different, are on a different world on this show. Yeah, I mean, I am excited for season 2, but it sucks. We have to wait till 2018, but I know the wait will be worth it because I know it'll be fabulous. I have no doubt. And I think there's so many different ways they can go. What makes me happy with this show is the fact that pretty much all of the mysteries were solved in season 1, which means there will be so many more mysteries. It's kind of annoying when there's a show that has an overriding mystery. So like it's like, who is the big bad guy, and you have to wait until the entire series ends. We kind of have that situation for those of you who watch Orphan Black. It's a little bit annoying. So I like that they wrap things up and we can move on and we have more things to theorize over instead of trying to theorize over who one person is for 6 or 7 seasons. Ralph says Samurai World or Shogun World was alluded to by showing us all the Asian head sculpts on the wall. Yes, I completely agree with you. And even though I have not seen the movie WestWorld, a lot of people were commenting the same kind of thing today on my videos. And I definitely believe we will start seeing different worlds in the show, which I think is amazing because we cannot stay in the Wild West with that storyline because, you know, we were seeing like 3 or 4 of the same storylines play out for the entire season. I didn't get bored with it and that was fine, but I don't really want to see that for 4 more seasons, you know? Vanessa feels like there's not much to theorize on. Okay. I think I'm, oh, okay, I'm back. All right. Okay, coming back. I don't even know if anyone can hear me. I know Firkin wants me to do Game of Thrones, and yeah, maybe I could do that. As Lauren's saying, maybe I could just watch bits and pieces since I kind of know, like I actually know a lot of the big moments that have happened in that show. So I would just happen, you know, like when I was watching with people or I'd be like on my computer or something and then something huge was happening. So I would watch it and I was like, okay, this show is kind of crazy. But anyway, so Ralph says when MIB told Dolores that she brought him to the town where it was buried, actually that told us the MIB was William 20 minutes before the reveal. Yes, you're so right. And I think you made that comment last night during the live show. You were so right. Roa says the same. Logan would either kill him off or live in the park. I'm not sure what you mean. I think I missed parts of your comment there. I'm sorry because I disappeared for a minute and I had to go fix that. But anyway, I just wonder maybe we should, near the time of season 2 coming back, we should all watch like the finale again or something because I feel like this is definitely one of those shows where we have to pay a lot of attention and close attention. And I think we'll need a refresher, you know, before the next one. I don't know. I was just thinking about a totally unrelated thing. It's like, the movie, why can't I think of it now? 50 Shades of Grey. Okay. They made us wait for, I think, over a year, like a year and a half for the second installment. I know this is not like Game of Thrones, but I really did enjoy the 50 Shades of Grey movie, or at least it was a cliffhanger. And it's coming back in February, and I am still just as excited. So I don't think anyone's ever, you know, I don't think we're going to lose our excitement and it's not going to take as long as we think. Because I remember at the time, like watching 50 Shades of Grey, I was like, oh my God, it's not coming out for 2 years or something. That's going to be an eternity. I'm so upset, but it's really not. The time goes by quickly. Ralph says Logan is dead or living in the park because Logan would not let William marry his sister. Do you think that was it said for sure that William married his sister? That's what I'm confused about. Yeah, I mean, it would be best if I know. I kind of feel weird about just watching bits and pieces of Game of Thrones. I don't know. I'm probably not going to do Game of Thrones. I'm sorry. This is too overwhelming for me. I'm really, really sorry. But yeah, I didn't think I would like 50 Shades of Grey, but I actually really like the movie. I think I really love, the guy who I always forget his name. He's in The Fall, which is another wonderful show if you guys get bored over the holidays. It's on Netflix. It's like a Irish show. It's so good. Such a great, like, mystery type of show about a serial killer. I can never think of his name. But anyway, I think he's great. I love him. And I, again, have forgotten the name of the girl who plays in. I really like her. Just forgive me. It's not because I didn't actually watch or pay attention. I just forget sometimes people's names in these movies and shows. Anyway, yeah, I know. There's probably videos on YouTube which could fill me in on Game of Thrones, but you know. I'm very happy, Jamie Dornan, thank you. I'm very happy that Bernard is back and Jeffrey Wright is back, of course. And I do think he's going to have a big role. I could definitely see him freaking being part of Maeve's like army because she's back. So, you know. So Ralph says William was set to marry Juliet when he returned from the park. Yeah, I know. So I mean, I feel like he married her, but now I don't really know. And I wonder if we'll ever see her, you know? So Vanessa's been telling me about Big Little Lies. No, we're not comparing 50 Shades of Grey to Game of Thrones. 50 Shades of Grey was a rant about how long it took for the second installment to come out. Nothing to do with Game of Thrones. But anyway, I am going to watch Big Little Lies. It's a miniseries coming on HBO. I'm probably not going to do videos on it. Sometimes I watch Girls and I watch Younger and some of those shows, and there's just like no need to do videos on those. But perhaps I could. I'll have to see because I know it has some mystery to it, so I'm going to check that out. Ralph says Ford dying leaves Bernard as the only one who can make a host. Right. If Ford is actually dead, then we will have to heavily. I mean, I feel like Maeve could do some work with him with host making though, but we'll have to rely on Bernard. But yeah, I'll check out Big Little Lies. I think it comes out in January. If it seems like something I could do videos on, I'll definitely be interested in doing that. And thank you to all of you who sent me on Twitter or in comments ideas for shows that are brand new coming out in January, because I am looking for some. The Affair, I lost track. First of all, I no longer have Showtime, so I know you can find shows other ways, but I loved The Affair. I watched the first two seasons, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe the first season. I don't know. Loved it. And then I no longer, I had to cancel Showtime and I stopped watching it, but it was so good. I don't know if you guys are still watching. I don't even know if it's still good. I don't know what season it's on, but I still think about that sometimes and I'm like, I need to go back to that. That was really good. I loved it. So what other shows am I making videos about? So How to Get Away with Murder returns in January. So I'll definitely be back to that. Pretty Little Liars is coming back in April. Orphan Black is coming back probably in the spring. But I do need to pick up a couple of things. Like I need to pick up a couple of shows for the winter because a lot of the stuff that I watch is like all in the fall. Yeah, The Affair is really good. I need to probably get back into that, find a way to watch it or get Showtime again or something. Ralph says Bernard is valuable to Dolores and Felix is valuable to the host. Yes, agree. So I think Bernard is going to continue to have a really, really big role in the next season. I've never watched The Good Wife, but I've heard a lot of good things. And I know Vanessa mentioned Riverdale. I need to check that out as well. I just wanted to mention that I still have a couple shows going on until the end of the year. Scream Queens, for those of you who watch that. I think there's 3 more episodes of that. And then I'm still doing Walking Dead, but that finale is next week. My Walking Dead video is going to be up later tonight. Actually, I still have to film it. I love Orphan Black, but I do videos on Orphan Black. So if you watch that, you can check me out for that. That's the final season. But if you're just now discovering me because of WestWorld, I will be doing season 2, so please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 6,000. It's kind of been a slow journey at this point because a lot of my shows have ended and people have just stopped discovering me. So if you've been watching me and you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate that. Bates Motel, I've heard, is so good. I feel like I've dropped the ball on that and like there's been a few seasons and I've missed them. I don't know, but I have heard it was really good. I've watched a few shows and covered them for my channel in the past couple of years that got canceled, which sucks because I really enjoyed the ones that were canceled. But Scream Queens is great. It's on Fox. It's had 2 seasons now. Well, it's not really great. I mean, it's just funny. You might like it, Lauren. You might want to, I think you can watch it possibly on maybe like the Fox app or something. Yeah, I need to check out Bates Motel, but I definitely need to find some stuff that's relatively new that I can do in January. So maybe Big Little Lies would be something I can do just because I don't want to like disappear from here. Yeah, The Family was super good. I think it was on around this time last year, maybe in the spring. But it was so good. And of course it got canceled and I kept thinking it would come back. I was all about like signing petitions and everything and trying to spread the word to get it back, but I never heard anything. So I don't know. I'm thinking that it's not coming back, which is sad, but I'm going to wrap things up with you here. I just want to thank all of you for your support during WestWorld, but not just that, pretty much all of you. I see you in all of my shows, which is very, very, very awesome. Like, I can't thank you enough for all of your support. And just to let you know, when Walking Dead and Scream Queens ends, I'm not disappearing, but I will be testing out shows for January. And again, most of you watch How to Get Away with Murder, and that comes back like the 19th. So we'll see you then. But I'll see you guys, in the next couple of weeks, because we still have some other shows going on. Right. So Ford didn't lie to us or kill Arnold. Right. You're right. Ford's annoying in some ways, but I don't know. I kind of like him overall. Oh, you're in Scotland. Okay. I don't know how you could find old shows. I mean, I don't know if it's on Netflix or not, because season 1 was last year, but check it out. I don't know the same things that you would do that we would do here, since you don't have the app. So I'm sorry, but hopefully you can find it. It's kind of, funny. So if you're into that, the first season had a lot of like theorizing, but the second one doesn't. But I'm going to let you guys go. So my Walking Dead video will be up tonight. And then we'll have the Scream Queens chat and the Scream Queens video this week. Yes, your homework assignment is to find a new show where we can theorize. And I really need it to be a new show, not like something, I just don't really have the time to watch like 3 or 4 old seasons of something, even though it might be incredible. So Big Little Lies is on my list because it's new. And I think the other thing that Vanessa mentioned, I have to check that out. I have her tweet saved. But thank you guys so much for being here and for chatting with me always. It's a highlight of my day. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you later this week with more videos and chats on the shows I cover. So bye, guys.